Hello everyone, this is Rebecca from Papeterie de Choix, and if you watched the first part of this video of the making of this journal, then you can realize by seeing this that I did not film any of the making of the signatures. I was on a creative roll and I didn't want to stop. So I have named this journal Tannery Red 1902. And I have decided that any of the books that I make from, I guess, authentic vintage books, keeping it in that theme, I'm going to name it based on the description of the book and the year that it was published, if that is inside of it. So that's where the name comes from, because it's tan and it's red. Okay, so if you saw the other video, you'll have seen me take apart the cover, make the spine, widen the spine, and finish the inside to a certain point. So I finished this a couple of days ago, and I want to share it with you, and I'm still nervous. I don't know why I'm nervous, but I'm nervous to share it for some reason. I was nervous to make it, now I'm nervous to share it. So what we have at the front is a little mother of pearl buckle, and this tie is, I have this piece of upholstery sample, and I actually have about 5 or 6 of these in different colors, and I have a bunch of this tapestry stuff. I just love fabric. I love paper, but fabric is my first love, always will be. So anyway, I cut a strip off of that, and that's where the closure comes from. And then I just attached this little, it's like a pin, and it had this kind of royalty look to it with all these little decorations. So that's, I thought it fit. But it is just pinned on. Now this tie closure is glued with fabric glue to this piece of lacy stuff. This was a corner off of a bed skirt that I cut the corners to use in different projects, and so what I did was I did just a running stitch here and connected them, and then that seam is here in the middle, and so and this part comes completely off, so it's completely removable. Okay, and also this is sewed on here with this hanging down as part of the decoration for the front, so when you bring the tie back around, it just comes in and closes and comes down. So there's that. Okay, so the book ended up being okay, so it's 7.5 inches tall, it's 5 inches wide, and it's 2.5 inches thick, and it has 84 writing pages, or 84 pages. Yeah, 84 pages, I'm sorry. I did this one different. It don't have that much writing pages, but it has lots of writing space. The two people that have influenced me in the making of this type of journal, I will put the links to their channels below. The first one, for the outside especially, her name is Sharon, and her last name is spelled H-O-E-R-T-H, so I'm going to assume that is pronounced Horth, but I might be wrong. But anyway, I've been watching her for a few weeks, and she has really inspired me with how to use old books that look authentic. And then the inside is inspired by Sarah Lee Armstrong. She right now is the queen of interactive parts in the journal. So I've kind of put the two together and done my take on the both of those. So here we go. So inside, I didn't do a pocket here because I didn't want to cover up the little seam. So what I did do is I just, in kind of the empty space here, I just put a tuck spot, and then I made just a little journaling card, and I put corners on it so that it you know, would hold up pretty good of going in and out this little space here. And I did put corners on the book. I used one of the inside pages for the background of this giant pocket, and there's several people that I did a project from that I will list. This lady, her name is Ann Kenlon, Kenlon, and she had like a, I don't remember the exact name of it, but it's like an offset pocket. And so this was the first thing I made. And so, and then just some a journaling card to go down in there. Oh, and it has 5 signatures. I don't know if I said that already or not. And so it's just, and then on the back, I put a piece of a paper here that goes around and is the back of the signature, but this side made a little pocket, so it's just got some little tucked things in there. And then I have, or had, several books on like French history, so I took some pages out of those books, put some translucent gesso that you saw in the previous video on them, and then I put it on and then wiped it off, and just to take the shine off of the pages. So there's a few of those pages in here too. And then these are some tags I made like 3 years ago, and I just took a 12 by 12 and cut it into 8, made 8 tags out of it. So, and then I had backed them with some pieces of dictionary page and made little pockets. So I've got this and like 3 or 4 other colors that's similar, and I just wanted to, you know, get my stash down, so they're all 8 in this journal. And then I also used some of the actual pages. So I glued either 2 or 3 together depending on how thick I needed it. Covered it in, this is a paint that I get at Walmart called antique parchment, and I just used a sponge and sponged it on and really lightly. And then I took some coffee, it's not my homemade ink, but the archival ink by Ranger, and the coffee flavor, coffee color, and inked around the whole page. And so that gives it, makes it a writing space as well. And then this is one side of a picture, and I put the white part of a napkin and decoupaged it on here. And so here in a second you'll see the other side of this picture here. And then writing space. And then I had made these a good long while ago and just had them pinned with a clothespin on the curtain in front of my workspace, and hadn't quite finished them, so I took a few things and finished them. Now this was a small napkin like the little square ones, and I had decoupaged them a good while back onto fabric. This is a linen blend, and it can be written on with like a ballpoint pen or a marker. So they've got built-in lines, sort of, so that they're in here. And then I've got each, the center of each signature just has a little charm of some sort or other that I got out of my stash. So there's that. And then here will be the other side of that picture over there. And then here's a tuck spot with the opposite, with another page that I painted up. And then here's the other side of the first one. And then the other side of the one that I used to create a fold. And then this is just the Lutze Castle, just has a few things in. You will have seen in the last journal that I just posted called Beautiful in Pink, you will have seen some of these flowers, and in here, and these are the feathers that were in that headband that I bought. I have a few of these little like chipboard shapes, and so I just took some red ink that I have and just went over it to give it a red tint. Just some simple tags from some scrapbook paper, and then a little pocket thing that I made from a doily, and I'll link the video. I think I did this. No. I got myself mixed up. There's a video that it uses a doily, but I haven't actually done it yet. But the shape will be the same or very similar. And so I used a little bit of scrapbook paper to just, it looks, old. And then I don't know whether I should say this or not, but you can see it looks in pretty rough shape. This is just a printout that I did in 2017 on some just regular copy paper that I had then. But in 2018, in February of 2018, my husband and I were in a fire, and we lost almost everything. There's a handful of things that I was able to salvage, and this was one of them. Had damage here, and it does have a piece of tape on this side to hold the corner back on. This is something that I printed from the Graphics Fairy, I believe, and I had colored it up and everything, but all of this black is now sealed in. It does not have a smell, so I want to make that very clear. I learned what to do with fabric and paper to get the smell of smoke out. We actually had no fire damage per se. It was all water and smoke damage. But anyway, I've had this all this time, and so it was sort of this burgundy color. That's how it started out, was burgundy. So I'm like, you know what, I'm going to put it in here, and I'm going to tell the story. So that's what I did. So here's the picture that was at the inside of the front of the book, and I left this in. It's very fragile. I don't know how long it will last. It's attached, and I did put a seam of paper down through here just to hold it a little bit more, but I don't know how long it's going to last. So here's another piece of that scrapbook paper, and I did just a little collage of stamps. And this was the top of an envelope, so I tore it, and then I just put in these two little writing spaces, and I'm finding that I really like how this looks with the corner of the envelope torn. And I have a handful in my collection of old stamps, but I think I'm going to make some, the little paper corners that looks like a torn envelope, I think, and then have little flip-ups like that. I think that'll be cute. And so this is just a writing space. Here's a couple of, there's two envelopes like this in here from a project I did back in the winter time. This is a wraparound tuck spot, just a collage here with some lace paper and stamps and stuff, and then kind of the same on this side, another one of those tags. And then this is this is two pieces of scrapbook paper that I put together a while back and just had it sitting. I have a vintage metal paper slot holder like goes in the office, because right in front of me I have a shelf that goes all the way across this part of my workstation, and I have my paintbrushes and pieces of fabric and my paints and my coffee ink and 3 tubs of paintbrushes, and then this thing, so that I can just reach and get what I need. And so I had just kind of thrown it up in there, and it's like, I think I'll use it in here. So this is the only blank page in the whole book that, as far as, has nothing but how I coffee dyed it. On the back of this, I did another, this is, okay, let me start. This is just a little tuck from a piece of scrapbook paper in here. Okay, over here is a little collage I made with stamps, and it is a little pocket. And it has these two little bitty things that goes in. Okay, here's another page from the book at the beginning, and I made a tuck spot here. I covered the page. This is a page out of an old dictionary that I've had and been waiting to use, and finally found a spot. I watched Rochelle, a friend of Sarah's, just a few days ago put out a little project where she did some blue pages with envelopes, and I really liked her little envelope stack. So I made a simpler version to go in here. I put this little, similar to the other one I already showed you. This is just one doily that's folded in and folded up, and so you have a little slot like a pocket but not quite on this side, and then two on this side. And so I put that in here. This is just a little envelope that I glued the inside, the top flap down into, and then this one, I don't have anything in this, but the way I've glued them, this part is glued and this part is glued. So this behind here is a complete tuck spot for something big. Like, let me show you. Like that. In fact, I think I might just leave that right there. And I do have one more like this in another signature. Okay, so we're going to leave that one there. And so this is just a pocket made from a page. Now this, I had a 6x6, and it's the only piece of paper I had like this, and I wanted it in, and I wanted it to go with this picture. So the only way I could make it a page was to do it this way. So this is a little bitty page with a little bitty writing space, and then we have the top half of this picture here, and here's another one of those little chipboard things, and a tag that I made a while back, and it's just holding it there. And then the center here is just a couple of full pages out of the book. I think these are 2 pages glued together with just a little thing here. And then here's another page from the book. And on this side, I created this, it's almost like a library pocket, but not quite. There's a few places I have some, these are some vintage digitals that I have, edited and made printables. That's the word I'm looking for. And so I've had this for a while, and I actually have these for sale in my on my online store. And then in this is a pocket with a window, but I don't have anything in it. And when I glued it to this, I should have put it the other way. And then after I glued it onto the page, I realized how tight this would be, but there is an opening here that you can put something in there. And then here is a belly band with another picture in here, and that goes there. And then there's a pocket, another pocket there that I don't have anything in. And then on this side is the other side of that page, and another tag. Now, this is I made a tag. It was a journaling card. This is a piece of very thin paper. I don't remember where I watched this. It's been at least 2 years ago, maybe longer. Is where this lady said, take a piece of paper, lay it over top of your rubber stamp, and take a crayon and color it. Just like you know how some people lay a piece piece of paper up on a tombstone and color it with a pencil. Same concept. And so I have a stamp that has this rose, and so I did that, and I've had that laying around for a while. So I turned it into a journaling card, and it goes right here. And then here's a decoupage napkin I did on a dictionary page, and I had done two and put them back to back. So here I've done a writing space. Here's another project by the lady Anne that I will link in the description. And here's a couple more of those vintage documents, I guess is the right thing to say. She did a little project with a library card that she found, and so I did a version of it. And what I did with mine was I made the whole thing a tuck spot on the piece of paper, and then it has this pocket in front, and then it's double. There's another one on the other side. And this is the only digital printable that I've done other than those documents in here. And this, I did it on the back of a piece of scrapbook paper. And then this is a page from the one of the music sheets that's in Italian. And I found this when I used to work at the thrift store. I was an assistant manager at a thrift store for a while. This was on a pair of pants that was going into the recycle, and so I took it off and decided I would use it here. It's backwards. The letters are backwards, but whatever. There it is. And then the other side of that and the other side of this was a image of a book in a book. And then here's the other side of that card. Well, technically it's not the other side. I made two, and I put them on a piece of paper that acts as part of the signature. And here's another one of those little cards. And then this, I may have shown this before in another video, I'm not sure. This is a black and white image out of an art gallery book. I have several of those. And so what I had done was I put some gold, a thin layer of gold plate down on my jelly plate, a thin layer of gold paint down on my jelly plate, and put this on it. And it picked it back up, and I thought it didn't really take the shine because the gold was metallic, but I don't know, it made it look a little more authentic. But I've noticed it's got a kind of a green look, and I don't know if it's from being, I mean, I've done this a good little while back, but anyway, it's there as a journaling card. Okay, and here's the other side of that napkin. Now this is 3 pages, and here's the other envelope. This is a project that I did, but right now I can't remember who I did it from, but I'll go back and look, and I'll put that one in. This one just has some journaling cards from a book that you've probably seen a few times in the last few projects I've done. Just simple little journaling cards here from the book pages. And then on this side, this is an authentic postcard, although it's never been used, but it's kind of old. I wish it had a date or something on it, but it doesn't, but just the fact that it's tucks. So I thought that it fit. And then here I took the other inside of the marble pages and just made a giant journaling card, and I backed it. No, I didn't back it. This is the paper that's on the back of it. And so this is a little covered paper clip with one of my, this is rose petals out of, I think, my parents' garden. Honestly, I don't remember. I've had them a while. Speaking of which, I gathered rose petals off my roses today, and my craft room smells so good. Oh my goodness, it smells good. So anyway, that just holds that to there. There's 2 more of those cards. This is a napkin. I've had these napkins for a long time and been wanting to use them for a long time. And here's a little charm of a little dragonfly. And then here's the other side of that one. And then this is a belly band that I've been watching some new people lately, and I'm not familiar enough with their names to be confident, but I know the video, and I can hear her voice, but I don't remember the name of the channel. But anyway, this belly band is like a hidden belly band, and so I use that music sheet, and it unfolds this way for writing space, and then on this side is writing space, and then these two are decorated. And so that just ties back up like that. And then, so the hidden part is you have the back of the actual folded up thing, which is where this goes, but then you put an extra thing on the back, and that's where I have this card. And I bought this at a antique store, and it's got a little age on it. Not 100% sure how old it is, but I bet it's older than I am. And I passed the half-century mark a good while back. In fact, I'm almost at the next one. Not next century, next decade. So this is just a little flip out that I made, and then this is the other set of the envelopes that I did. And the pictures was actually from a 12 by 12 scrapbook that was nothing but these little pictures, and I thought they worked good here. So, and then the end is the other side of this little, is what I had left over, and I wanted to do something with it, so it just goes right in there. And that's the end of the book. I was totally inspired in making this, and I have another one I'm already beginning. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed this rather lengthy flip through. Usually I go as fast as I can, but this one I wanted to kind of share more about it because of the inspiration that I've had from other people. As you know, I've been making journals non-stop for 6-7 months now, and I'm a very creative person, and when the creativity either gets monotonous or is robotic, I guess is one way to say it, then I lose my mojo, and that's something that I don't want to do, but it's very easy to do under certain situations. So this has brought out a whole new level of creativity, and actually almost put me back in touch with the creative person that I was in my youth, when I created everything, or at least tried, give everything a try. So thank you all very much for watching, and I will be back with another video. Not sure exactly what it will be. Got a few things I'm thinking about doing, just slightly different than showing the journals, but just some one-off things. But we'll see. We'll see. But thank you all for watching, and I'll be back soon.